Alright, I got today and tomorrow to work on this. This is the last and final thing before I can start actually moving things in, as far as like a bed and couch and stuff. I've got to get everything sealed, all of the I got all of it pretty much prepped. I got to vacuum all the dust and cover everything. So this is the stuff that I've shown before. I found this at a university surplus for 75 cents for 5 gallons. And this is actually sealant for concrete or floors or whatever. So I'm going to use it for my floor and for also the walls. So I think it'll work just fine. I've used it for, like I mentioned before, for this rustic sink stuff. So yeah, it worked out really well. So now I have a chance to use these old sprayers that you can just put on the end of your regular shop vac and just switch it over to the so the air blows out. And then you got, I have 3 different versions of it, but this is basically all the same thing. It's just like one of those garden Miracle Grow sprayers, except for it's using air. So as the air flows through there, it just, the natural vacuum effect just sucks up the liquid and sprays it out. So I think these are awesome. These are, I mean, just use a pretty simple mechanism, but it replaces the need for, you know, sprayer bottle that constantly break. And these are, I don't know how old these are, but they're still working really well. So I'll show a little bit of it and show you what it's doing, but just kind of start spraying on the wall. Well, I guess just be careful to not drop it. Luckily those mason jars are replaceable, and luckily I have 2 more, so got a pickle jar to replace the old jar. And this hose is a little bit smaller than the original hose that goes with the shop vac, so this airflow is way too powerful, and this just kind of flew off out of my hands. So I took my hose and I just modified it, put a couple holes in the back end so it's not overly powerful, and I could cover the holes if I want to adjust the flow. But that was pretty powerful, and it just popped right out in my hands. But it was working awesome when I was using it. Kind of see what it did a little bit. Well, it is working really well. It just sucks this up really fast. I knew I probably would have to refill it a lot, but that's basically what it's going to look like. The parts that were running down, I was kind of just blowing it over, so it gets rid of those drip spots. But it's working well, so I'm just going to keep going with that, doing the same thing. Alright, well, I sprayed all the walls. There's a little bit of a darker tone to it. The door and everything. I even did up there. And so the last bit, the great finale is, well, I guess one of the last great finales is the floor. And yes, I had another mishap over there. I broke another jar with a different reason. It just fell, so luckily I could replace them. So with this sealant, I'm not going to get technical with it. It's just pretty much dumping on the floor and spreading it around. So I'll do that as fast as I can. All these leaves are coming in. There, I got the first layer on there. I'm going to wait till it dries to see if I could do another coat or just do some spot applications. Most of it pretty much done. I'm kind of burnt out on this whole thing. I think this is the last part of it. Over time, as I was working in there, that second layer of concrete leveling mix just didn't do well. It kept on just turning into dust. The sealant that I put on there, hopefully it'll just take care of the dust once and for all. That first layer of Portland cement mix with the glue mixed in it, that's doing a lot better. Even though it's not the best. But as I look at it, I'm not all that put out about it. I mean, it looks okay. It's rough looking, yeah, but I'm gonna continue to just consider options. And I could put some floor throw rugs down, as you mentioned in the comments. And the other idea that I was toying around with was a heated floor system, and I was able to get some of the heated floor pads for like $50, and it'll cover a lot of this floor. And I have a thermostat and everything for it. So I'm putting that into the equation here, because if I'm able to get that flooring in there, that heated floor with the thermostat, that means I could leave the house for long periods of time, and that thermostat will just take care of the temperature in here, and it will keep everything from freezing, and I don't need to worry about it as I'm gone. The only two heat source that I have, really, well, three I guess, is the wood burning stove and my propane space heater that I bought. I'll put in here later, and electric heaters too, but none of those really get like a solid, I could leave the house and leave them on type of feeling. So I'm kind of debating now. So if you have any ideas for that, then go ahead and put them in the comments. I think this summer or this winter, I'm just gonna leave it as it is. I'm gonna put some throw rugs down. I'm going to test out my heated floor system, maybe put them under the rugs or something like that. Have a good test run on those things. And then the rest of it, I did consider getting hardwood floor, like a laminate floor, which is what that heated floor works the best with that. So if I do get that wood floor, laminate floor, I could just take my time and look around for it and make sure it's going to work well. Well, here it is the next day. I don't feel any tackiness, so I feel like it's all dried, all the sealant and stuff. I think that's it, though. Sometimes I have to really think through, make sure I'm sure that it's it, start moving stuff in. And this is one of the milestones for this whole property. My tiny house shed was kind of like a separate project to get me in a shelter that felt like it was enclosed and I had more control over the temperature and all that stuff. So I'll still utilize that. I could still move it off the foundation to my next property, which I kind of have that in mind. So when that time comes around, the videos will continue on that. But this kind of feels like the like a a milestone, a first step in this whole house. Like, it just feels really good. It feels like a completeness. Like there's a strong foundation. Everything's finished. It's got self-contained heat source, water system, stuff like that. So it feels complete. Instead of always thinking, you know, I'm never going to get finished with my main house and stuff like that. But this is like the first like feeling that there's something actually happening. This is the construction aftermath, and I was just going full throttle for the past couple months or so, and I'm going to have a couple people come help me clean it up today, and they offered to help me, so maybe I'll get some footage of that. I'm going to do a lot of debris organizing and all that stuff. So, that'll be a great uplift to get this finally cleaned up, organized. So at the last minute here, I was thinking of a solution for the stark contrast. This wood here was really, really dark from moss that was on it. So as I cleaned it off, it preserved that wood, so it's not sun dried or weathered or anything. And so I tried to put bleach on it to, you know, make it kind of an artificial sun bleached, but it just doesn't. It still doesn't blend in. It just like has that stark contrast you can see there. And so I just thought at the last minute I could flip them around, and I remember not wanting that side just because it was, you know, where the wood supports were, but the color actually matches a lot better. So I'm going to go with that. Yeah, I got them flipped around. It's still not as good as staggering them all around just like I did here, but it gives it some character, I guess. And I still have yet to put on the clear coat finish, so it'll probably darken kind of like it did with the other stuff, so it'll be even better after that.